All right, welcome back. This is Tyrell from the Nosebleeds, and just want to say thank you all for watching the live streams to the Browns. Thank you all for tuning in for the rankings and everything like that. So this is another power rankings video as we move into week 5. Just want to say thank you again for all for watching. And let's see who's going to be number 32, who's going to be number 1, and all the teams in between. Last couple of power ranking videos, I was with Dre and then I was with JC and Marv. But kind of like the first rankings video, I'm solo dolo today. So let's get started. And before we get started, actually, we are on the road to 100 subscribers. We are 12 away, so please like, share, comment, and subscribe. And as promised, I know I've been saying this for the last couple of weeks, but this is as promised. I said in one of these videos, and I will address this again in the state of the address video that will be coming out shortly. Um, Franchise quarterback criteria checklist, because there are future videos coming out for ranking every single team's franchise quarterbacks, and I have come up with the criteria, and I've come up with what the criteria must met, like the number of criteria must met. So there are 7 criterias on this list. So one, must have started or stayed on the team for at least 4 years. They got signed to at least one contract extension, started 66% of the available games that they could have started. So if, let's say, Tom Brady, right, prime example, he started pretty much outside of one season, he pretty much started every single game. So of the possible games that were available to play, you know, when he's with the New England Patriots. Has started at least one playoff game. It's a bonus that they get a playoff win. The team tried to build or built around that player and their strengths and tried to hide their weaknesses. Consistent mid to high level play. And finally, what was their leadership like? So leadership is going to be a little tough to rank. So that's going to be kind of like towards the bottom. Um, and then so that's to even just make the criteria list, right? And then I will proceed to rank each quarterback based off of their success with the team, when it comes to stats, win loss record, elevation of the franchise, and if they set or broke any records of their own. So that's going to be the criteria. And I'm going to go through that again, but I wanted to address it in the power rankings video. So without further ado, power rankings and prediction, it is time. And let's start off. I know we went from number 1 up to 32. We're going to go from 32 on down. And this should surprise nobody who has watched these rankings. The New Orleans Saints are number 32. Again, they are a bad team. Like, you can tell they're tanking for Manning. Did they play good, all things considered, against the Buffalo Bills? Absolutely. Um, Really, it was more so Buffalo played down to their competition and played down to them. But like when Buffalo's playing like that, they like some of these other teams that's low on this list, like let's say the Cleveland Browns, or well, not with that offense, maybe like someone like the Jets or the Giants or the Houston Texans in this scenario with how their season is going. um they would have won this game. So the Saints are still number 32. They're probably not going to move at all on this list, or if they do, it's going to be like a spot or two. Number 31, the We Are Ass Tennessee Titans. Cam Ward said it the best. This team is a hot garbage ass, like just straight boo boo juice, straight garbage boo boo water juice. Like they're, and I like the talent that they're building on defense, right? But they can't block for Cam Ward. There's only so much Cam Ward can do, and he's saying, "Yeah, I need to step up," and all this other stuff. And part of that is true, but it's hard for you to step up when you can't even step back into the pocket without getting pressured immediately. So the Tennessee Titans are at number 31. We are kind of going through this pretty fast because it's just me this week, right? Number 30, the Las Vegas Raiders. Tough loss against the Chicago Bears. Got the block potential game winning field goal. Last week they ranked at 30. So the first three bottom teams, they don't go nowhere in this rankings. I had New Orleans at 32. I had the Titans at 31 last week, and the Las Vegas Raiders at 30 last week. The reason why the Raiders are not number 32 is because the Tennessee Titans and the New Orleans Saints exist. It's plain and simple. There's nothing good about this team. Like that, were they finally able to create running lanes for Genty? Absolutely. It was great to see Genty run behind competent blocking, but it's not going to be sustained with this team. And for them to think that not necessarily Gino being obviously at this point, Gino's not the answer as far as fixing the franchise quarterback. I don't even think he's the answer to like get a bridge going, to build a bridge. You know, him being a bridge quarterback to your franchise quarterback. Um, he's not ever since he's left Seattle is not the same, and it's gotten people question: is Gino finally writing back? So, the Raiders, I mean, they play better than like, I would say. This is probably like the best they played since the New England Patriots game. And even if they would have won this game, I would still say the same thing about this team because it's not a lot impressive about the Las Vegas Raiders. At number 29, they're moving down 2 spots. I had them at 27 last week. That is the New York Jets. Um, the Jets are that team where there's enough veterans at key positions to where they should not be winless, if that makes sense, right? Like there's I don't know what's missing. I don't know if it's the quarterback play. I don't think it's the coaching yet. We'll see. Um, I don't know what it is about the Jets, but they're not a good team. They're just not a good. They have guys on this team. They have talent on this team, but they're not a good team. They're just not a good team. So I got the Jets at 29. At 28 is the Cleveland Browns. You lose like that. Special teams suck. We went through it on this live. You can go back and watch the replay. They were ranked 26 last week, so they moved down 2 spots. This defense is great, right? But there's only so much this defense can do when when they're consistently defending the goal line at the goal line, right? Or within the 30-yard line in their territory. And them giving up, I think they give up 25 points a game is highly misleading when you watch these games, right? It's highly misleading when Lamar Jackson is starting at the 30. It's highly misleading when Gibbs can just run it in like 2 plays because they done started at the 5-yard line, right? So the Browns defense is excellent. What's going to happen with this offense now that they got Dylan Gabriel and they're like I'm not a big fan of it, especially on the London week. I wasn't a fan of starting them, but at least you do get a quarterback that has legs underneath them. Like Joe Flacco wasn't mobile to begin with, and now he's 40. So again, I don't like this because you don't have a 1, you don't have a 2. I do like the addition of Cam Robinson coming in to bring some type of competence to this offensive line, but I don't think Cam Robinson, even though he's ranked 33rd in the PFF ranking, I don't think Cam Robinson is enough to address the key points of this offensive line. And Cam Robinson is more of a pass blocker than he is a run blocker, right? So we're gonna see how it goes. Maybe the offensive line play does get better. I'm just surprised the Texans, traded away Cam Robinson, especially like when they're having their own offensive line issues. And it seems like the Browns can only trade with the Houston Texans. That's what it feels like. But the Browns are at number 28. They were 26 last week. The Miami Dolphins are at number 27. They move up 1 spot from 28. I thought this was a good win against the New York Jets. They needed this win. They were 2 teams that were winless. Tyreek Hill is done for the year. So we'll see what's going to happen with that. Tua is not the guy. Mike McDaniel is not the guy. He probably saved, was able to cool off the seat slightly by sprinkling a couple of drops of water on it. And they're still ranking low because who knows if they get a win if they play somebody else. Just saying, have they improved since the Indianapolis game? Yeah, but still not impressed with this team. 26, they move up 3 spots. They were ranked 29th last week. That is the New York Giants. They had a very impressive win against the Los Angeles Chargers. They were able to limit Justin Herbert from making a game changing impact in the passing game. Their defense is starting to gel and is starting to mature and is getting better. They were able to get pressure on Justin Herbert. Were they able to? Does it help that there is no Rashawn Slater? Does it help that there's no Joe Alt? Absolutely. But nonetheless, this young defense was able to create problems for Justin Herbert in general. I know Marion ripped that one run, that 54-yard run in the game, but overall, very good showing by the New York Giants. This has been a team that I am looking forward to seeing how they develop over the next few years. This is not this year. This is kind of like, let's see what we got. Let's see what the talent is. They're very young, they're inexperienced, but they're learning a lot. They got Jackson Dart out there. He managed the game very well. He didn't crash the ship. So the Giants are at number 26. I thought this is a good spot for them this week. At number 25, the Houston Texans. Good win against the Tennessee Titans, but they played the Tennessee Titans. Let's see what happens against the Baltimore Ravens. Two teams that are desperate to revive and save their season. And I like the Texans. And when I go into prediction, I'm gonna have to actually. I think I originally put Baltimore to win. I might have to change that with the highly possibility that Lamar Jackson is not going to be playing. Um, they traded like I mentioned with the Cleveland Browns, traded Cam Robinson. I don't know why you would do that if I'm Houston, just because again, like I said, they need offensive line help as it is. If anybody blaming CJ Stroud play, it's because he has no time. Like there's only so much quarterbacks can do when the offensive line doesn't play well. So Houston stays where they're at. Like I remember Houston being one of my highly ranked teams, right? And as I look through my notes, not even highly ranked, but ranked higher than where they're at. Like I had Houston when we first did the first set of rankings. I had Houston at 18, and last week I had Houston at 25. And the week prior to that, I had so I've had Houston in the middle of the pack. So now they're kind of on the lower end, but they start to stack up some wins, some good quality wins on top of that. They'll start to climb up the rankings a little bit. Number 24, the Carolina Panthers, down 6 spots from last week. I put them at 18 for an impressive win against the Atlanta Falcons. And how would they build off of that? By getting shellacked, by getting 133, one phrase, 3 letters, 3 words, 133 BCA belt to ass on the New England Patriots. In a game where two young teams trying to figure it out, I thought this was going to be a young team battle, and it ended up being a young team ass whipping by the New England Patriots. The Carolina Panthers did not look good in any parts of this game whatsoever, to the point where Bryce Young got benched. Carolina, there is a lot of turmoil. There's a lot of turmoil in that organization in general. It really is. And it starts with the ownership. Dave Tepper sucks. He is like, and trust me, we got Jimmy Haslam, right? The Browns got Jimmy Haslam, and Dave Tepper is worse than Jimmy Haslam. So when you have that and a coach that has a owner who has a history of being highly impulsive, more impulsive than Jimmy Haslam was when he first owned the team, like highly impulsive and don't give a shit what happens to you, doesn't care about paying you off the rest of your contract because he has endless money. I think he came from like hedge funding something. So he's not concerned about money. He's not concerned about that. He's just a big, gigantic walking piece of trailer park shit. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. Like he is, when you going out and fighting fans, fist fighting fans and pouring drink, you are a piece of shit. And it doesn't help that Carolina cannot gain momentum. It doesn't help that Bryce Young can't gain momentum. If you put Bryce Young in a different system on a different team, I think he would thrive a whole lot better than what he is with the Carolina Panthers. And I felt weird ranking them so high at 18. But I was so impressed with their win against Atlanta. I thought they could build on top of it, but they're right back in the 20s. So they're at 24. They dropped 6 spots, one of the biggest drops of this power rankings this week. At number 23, the Arizona Cardinals. Good comeback attempt by them. They were ranked 23rd last week, so they don't move anywhere. Good good comeback. They didn't give up, showed a lot of fight. Marvin Harrison Jr. stepped up when it mattered the most. Their defense just couldn't deliver. And I'm still not high on this team. I think a lot of people are way too high on this team. But they're not a bad team, but they're not a really good team that people are making them out to be. They're a lower mid to middle of the pack team. And they're a team that I look at and will start to play spoiler to some of the other teams fighting for playoff positions towards the end of the year. I don't think the Cardinals are going to the playoffs, but they are better than what I thought they were going to be at the same time. At number 22, a team that is slowly sliding down the list as well, and that is the Cincinnati Bengals. I had them at 20 last week, but to they shit the bed against Denver as well. They did not look good against Denver. They can't. Jake Browning cannot get the ball to Jamar Chase. Jake Browning, I had high praises for him, and that has completely sunk. I mean, like I said, I had him at 20 last week. The week prior to that, I had him at 16. Um, and yeah, I had him at 16 the week prior to that, and then I had him at 14 that first week. So it's like I had him at 14 to 13 the week before that. So this is not a team. As I'm looking through my notes here, this is not this team. This team needs Joe Burrow. It is so plain as day that they need Joe Burrow. Like it's kind of sad. It's kind of pathetic, but it's true. Like they are in a position to where I don't know how to explain it. I don't know how to explain it. I had him at 20. So look, this is Cincinnati's power rankings so far on this channel, right? Cincinnati was at 14, 13 or 14 in week 2 as we got prepared for week 2 or week 3. Week 3 is power. So the power rankings from 2 weeks ago, they were ranked at 13. So I had them go up. So they were 14 the first week. The second week, or the second time we did this, they were ranked at number 13. And then they had that loss against Minnesota, and they went all the way down to number 20 because of that loss. And now they're at 22, and this team will continue to slide. Like we know about the offensive line issues. We know about the defensive issues. Al Golden is a extremely great defensive coordinator. He really is, and he's working with talent that cannot. I've been trying to buy this talent some time because of how aggressive and how good Al Golden is, but like I don't think there's enough talent there to essentially buy in or to essentially execute the plan that he's trying to implement on the defensive side of the ball. So yeah, the Cincinnati Bengals are going to be ranked at 22 and expect them to slide down the list even more. At number 21, one of these teams that just keep hopping around the power rankings so far, and that is the New England Patriots. So last week ranked 24, so they moved 3 spots. Very good 1-3-3 game, BTA belt to ass all over. Pause. The Carolina Panthers. Very good showing all the way around this team. And this was a game where we got to see the full potential of what the New England Patriots with Elliott Wolf is building there in Foxborough. Like we saw, this is like, okay, if everything gel well with this team, man, oh man, the NFL might have some not Tom Brady-esque problems, but they might be some problems here. They might be some spoiler team. They might be a spoiler team, like one of those really good spoiler teams where they just missed the playoffs, but they were really good and you could see a future there, which I think we all should be looking out for the New England Patriots. But yeah, I got them at 21. Let's see what happens with them. Can they rack up a second win in a row? They haven't done it in the last 3 years. They have not won back-to-back games in the last 3 years. So let's see if they can stack this up. At number 20 is the Jacksonville Jaguars. I had them ranked at 22 last week, so they move up 2 spots, and I am starting to be sold on Jacksonville. I know I have been very adamant about Liam Cohen. I'm still not the biggest fan of him, but he has this team doing what it's supposed to do. This team is playing very good football. It's just that there's a part of me that's not fooled by this in a sense because Doug Peterson had this team playing well, but I mean that was a big upgrade from Urban Meyer. But we'll see how long this sustains. This is their first really big test in the Kansas City Chiefs. So I got them ranked at number 20. I don't see them moving much because if they lose against Kansas City, especially if it's not a bad loss, they actually might move up. Who knows? At number 19, the Dallas Cowboys up one. They were ranked 20th last week. Tie game against the Green Bay Packers. I don't think a lot of people expected them to score 40 on the Packers. Matter of fact, I think a lot of people, including myself, believe it was going to be a Micah Parsons massacre. But they were able to do a good job chipping and containing Micah Parsons. The offensive line did, and also hold him. Micah Parsons made a key sack, excuse me, at the end in overtime. That was a game-saving touchdown. But I thought they did very well. Like Dak was on his game. Um, the running game was good. George Pickens had a career game. Like this game was like the perfect analogy of why Jerry Jones gave Dak the contract extension. Why Jerry Jones believes in Dak. Why Dak has been the franchise quarterback over the last 10 years, which is crazy to say. But good showing by Dak Prescott, good showing by the Dallas Cowboys, especially coming off that embarrassing loss against the Chicago Bears. And again, another game in prime time where a lot of people thought they were going to get their ass kicked, and they proceeded to play this game very well. Speaking of the Chicago Bears, they're at number 18. They were ranked 19th last week, so that's a +1 movement. They're starting to show some potential, kind of like the New England Patriots. Can they start to string this along together? Ben Johnson looks good. He's looked like he's learned from his mistakes already. Nothing bad to say about the Chicago Bears so far. At 17 is the Minnesota Vikings, sliding down 3 more spots. Last week they were ranked at 14. It's nothing too special to say. They tried to fight back against Pittsburgh. They came up short. This team will be better when JJ comes back. Yeah, that's pretty much it. That's gonna be my analysis for these middle tier teams, except for this team, number 16, sliding down 8 spots, and I think that's the biggest slide on this channel so far, and that's the Baltimore Ravens. I cannot keep putting the Baltimore Ravens in the top 10. Like you're 1-3, you're not gonna have Lamar Jackson more than likely. You're not. The offensive line is not the best. Their defense is trash, and they proceeded to let Kansas City bully and dominate them all game long. Like from the first whistle down to the last whistle, it was just a straight wire to wire ass whipping that they received. And I cannot keep putting this team in putting them in the top 10 because I'm like, oh, there's some potential there. You know, they just got to get it together. They have no good defense. They don't have the same offense that they had last year. And there's a lot of talent on this team. Way too much talent on this team. Way too much experience on this team for them to be 1-3. And it's kind of making me start to see why like some of the hardcore Ravens fans have been clamoring for Harbaugh to lose his job over the last couple of years. Number 15, the Atlanta Falcons, good bounce back win to beat a top 10 team in this rankings. They move up to they were ranked 17th last week. Just a good showing. Michael Penix was able to make a bounce back because a lot of people was questioning his job. So that was a good way to respond to the critics. Good win against the Washington Commanders. Number 14 is the San Francisco 49ers, losing 3 spots. Last week they were number 11. Did they pay Brock Purdy too soon? Did they overpay Brock Purdy too soon? Because this team played better with Mac Jones, and Mac Jones is going to be starting Thursday, and it's going to be the return of the Mac, return of the Mac. I know I can't sing, whatever. So yeah, San Francisco, they've lost that pass rush with Nick Bosa being out. Their defense is going to suffer tremendously. in general now that Nick Bosa is not there to be a matchup nightmare for the opposing team. Number 13, the Denver Broncos +2. Last week they were ranked 15th. Again, it's kind of like they're at 13 because they're better than some other teams. It was a good win against Cincinnati. Um, Still a team that where I'm like, they're not world beaters. There's some potential there, but it's like something this maybe is Sean Payton. But something's missing with the Denver team. But I got them ranked at 13th. Sliding down 2 spots despite the win, is the Pittsburgh Steelers. So they'll be out of the top 10 for the first time this year, or maybe the second time, because I think I had them at 11 in the first Power Rankings video. It was a good win, good international win. They left their foot off the gas a little bit, and Minnesota started to expose some things with Pittsburgh. I know a lot of people like, well, they're 3-1 and everything like that. With Pittsburgh, I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop. Pittsburgh has been known to get off to these hot starts, and then when it gets to late November, early December, just completely collapse. This defense is not what people thought it was going to be. I knew this defense was not going to be what they thought it was. They thought this was going to be the modern day Steel Curtain, and it's not. It's not. I mean, they're not a bad defense, but they're not like this top tier ranked defense. Like, this is not. But I think they're stringing along wins, good quality wins. Aaron Rodgers playing good. It seems like he has this revitalization of his career. I think because he knows that he's retiring. So I think he's actually just enjoying everything more compared to it being strictly business and not enjoying the moment. Number 11 is Seattle, +5. Last week is 6. Last week at 16. This defense is good. This defense is underrated. They're not Legion of Boom, obviously, but they're very aggressive. They love getting turnovers. And the offense is moving along quite well. And Seattle's kind of a sleeper team in a sense of not a lot of people expected them to do a lot, but they're on the outskirts of the top 10 right now. At number 10, moving up 3 spots, and they have been climbing the ranks throughout this year so far. And as I go through my notes of the past, I started off this team at number 20. Yeah, I started them off at number 20. Then they were 18. And then they were 13 last week. And now they're in the top 10, despite the loss to the Los Angeles Rams. That is the Indianapolis Colts. Very impressed by this team. I was not high on this team. I was very harsh on this team. When we did our previews, the AFC South previews. And this is a team that's making me eat crow. I think this team is making a lot of people eat crow. I only had Indianapolis winning 6 games. That's it. But the addition of Shavarius Ward and Cam Bynum has been absolutely amazing for this team. Tyler Warren is a stud. Daniel Jones is playing extremely well. They have a game against Las Vegas, which they should take care of. And people were like, well, they play these bottom tier teams. They just showed you this week that they're here. Tough loss, but this is a loss where you don't hang your head and you actually get to see what the make of this team is. And that's what I saw. That's why, like, despite the loss, they move up into the top 10. This is right now, they're playing like a top 10 team. This game against the Rams could have swung either way. And if, the Tutu Atwell touchdown didn't happen, or Jonathan Taylor's, 54, 60-yard run didn't get called back off of a holding, we're talking about a team that's 3-1. I mean, I'm sorry, they are 3-1. That's 4-0. We're talking about a team that is 4-0. We had them at 6 wins. They're already halfway there, and they're gonna get over 6 wins. And the way this team is shaping up right now, the way Daniel Jones is playing, the way this defense is playing, the way Jonathan Taylor is back after being hurt for the last couple of years, this offensive line is starting to gel together. Don't be surprised if they're competing with Jacksonville for that AFC South title. 2 teams that I did not expect to win this division might win this division. I had Jacksonville at 5 wins, I had Indianapolis at 6, and they are the 2 best teams in the AFC South right now. And number nine, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they have consistently stayed at number nine. I've not moved them up, have not moved them down. They tried to make the comeback against the Philadelphia Eagles. It didn't happen. Um, Number nine. That's the best way to put it. They are the ninth best team. Like there's a lot of firepower, there's a lot of talent on all three sides of the ball. Good coaching, good structure. No complaints about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. At number eight was it or is the Kansas City Chiefs. Great statement win against the Baltimore Ravens. A lot of people thought this was going to be one of those shootout games, and it wasn't. It was a essentially, I know it's a 20-37, but this was a BTA game. It really was. And for the first time since week 2, they're in the top 10 on this channel's rankings. I think Lamar only had 144 yards. That's a testament to this defense. And I can't believe I'm saying this, but Jacksonville is a test for them. It really is because how good Jacksonville's been playing this year so far. But Kansas City made a statement of you guys were celebrating a little too hard that we fell at 0-2. Pause. And now we're gonna show y'all what we all about. So Mahomes is looking like 2019 Mahomes. This offense is starting to get better. The defense is starting to click better. There's not a lot of confusion like it was the first 2 games. So the Giants game was a very good help for them, and now they will get an opportunity to build upon that, keep building upon this. At number 7, I got the Washington Communist Party. Tough loss against Atlanta. Another game that could have went either way, but I don't think it weren't enough for them to move out of the top 10 whatsoever. Green Bay Packers at number 6. Again, a team that didn't move. I almost switched, but I decided to keep it. It was a tie. But a team that I thought was going to be a top 10 defense because they had a top 10 defense last year. They haven't been playing like a top 10 defense over the last, really since those last 5 minutes against Cleveland. Giving Dallas 40 points is unacceptable for a top 10 team. It really is, especially when I got Dallas ranked at number 19. That is unacceptable. But nonetheless, it's a tie. I hate ties. I think a lot of people do, but it is what it is. At number 5, the Los Angeles Chargers. Again, it was an anomaly game for them. I don't knock them. They were still able to establish the run. They were still able to control the field, but 14 penalties is not going to do it. Not doing good blocking. I know they got 6 sacks, but like the Giants would have more sacks for real, for real. Like if Herbert wasn't so elusive and just good at getting the ball out fast. But I still got the Chargers ranked in the top 5. At number 4, the Detroit Lions, they stay at the same spot. At number 4, BTA belt to ass against the Cleveland Browns. No complaints. They stay at number 4 just because they played a far superior or a far less superior team in the Cleveland Browns. Number 2, the Los Angeles Rams. They move up 2 spots. They were ranked at 5 last week. They move back into the top 3. Very great win. Great win, great performance, great dueling against the Indianapolis Colts. No complaints whatsoever. They continue to show you why they're a top 10 team. They continue to show you why they are a Super Bowl contender. They really do. At number 2, the Buffalo Bills. Just because of how they played against the New Orleans Saints. Yes, they were able to pull away, but they should have had this game won. They did exactly what I said they was going to do, except they won and they was able to pull away. But what 52 minutes in the game, they played down to their competition. They just did. It was like they couldn't really get anything going into the last 8 minutes of the game. So the Buffalo Bills are at number 2, which puts the Philadelphia Eagles as the best team in the league right now. And Philadelphia claims that throne for the first time this year. Good win against Tampa. And the fact that Jalen Hurts does not have to throw a single passing yard, like doesn't have a single passing yard, 0, zilch, not a 0 in the second half. And they were still able to win because they were able to create this big lead at halftime. Shows you how well ran, how well structured the Philadelphia Eagles are. And I believe, along with Buffalo, I think they're the last 2 remaining teams undefeated. So that's the power rankings. Let's move on to predictions now. Didn't pull up my handy dandy phone here, but I am. Give it a moment, man. I don't know why my Face ID is not working. All right, let's go. Thursday night. Thursday night. So this is being recorded Wednesday night. You guys will see this around noon tomorrow. So let's talk in future tense or whatever maybe. Tonight, the Thursday night. Like I said, you see this Thursday. That's not confusing, but Thursday night, recorded Wednesday night. So tomorrow night, the 3-1 San Francisco 49ers versus 3-1 Los Angeles Rams. Last time these two teams faced off against each other was December 12th last year. Rams won 12 to 6. Rams 7.5 point favorites. That betting line could increase a little bit. I think San Francisco obviously covers, but give me the Los Angeles Rams to win this game. Next, the second international game for Minnesota. The Minnesota Vikings will play against the Cleveland Browns in London. Carson Wentz versus Dylan Gabriel. Last time these two teams faced off against each other was a 14-7 win for the Cleveland Browns back on October 3rd, 2021. So it would be a full 4 years since the last time these two teams played against each other. The Browns 27th in offense, the Vikings 8th in defense. Give me the Vikings to win. They're 3.5 point favorites. Minnesota to beat the Cleveland Browns. Just saying that for non-biased reasons. Go Browns. Give me dog check. $2 in a dog check for my Cleveland Browns, but I got the Minnesota Vikings winning this game. And it's weird because I usually say the Browns last, but it's a 9:30 game. It's a 9:30 game. And as far as the live stream goes, it's more than likely still going to be at 6:40, around 6:30, 6:45 ish. Just because, like I said, I have the kids and I have my kids and everything like that. So I, make sure they're taken care of and interact with them and have fun with them and then talk to you guys. The next game on the list is the Dallas Cowboys versus the New York Jets. I think the Jets take this one. Last time these two teams faced off against each other was back in 2023, where Dallas won 30-10. Yeah, give me the New York Jets. This is kind of have to be one of those games where Dallas. I don't know why. I just got this feeling that Dallas is going to have a similar game that they had against the Chicago Bears. I know they're feeling very confident, very sky high, but usually when Dallas feels like that, they kind of overcompensate and they get a little too overconfident. So I look for the Jets to capitalize off of that. The Philadelphia Eagles versus the Denver Broncos. Last time these two teams faced off against each other was November 14th, 2021, almost 4 years ago. Eagles 3.5 point favorites. Give me the Philadelphia Eagles for the win. I just think they're a better team overall. The Houston Texans versus the Baltimore Ravens. Lamar Jackson is more than likely going to be out. He has been listed as doubtful, but there are a lot of reports of him being out for multiple weeks. We'll see about that. If that is the case, then Cooper Rush will start for the Baltimore Ravens. If Cooper Rush starts for the Baltimore Ravens, give me the Houston Texans. The Houston Texans are 1.5 point favorites. Last time they faced off against each other was on Christmas Day last year, where Baltimore beat them 31-2. If Houston has to play Cooper Rush, give me Houston. If Lamar Jackson is playing, give me Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens. I think Baltimore Ravens pass rush is good enough, despite me saying they're a bad defense. They are a bad defense. They are ranked 31st. They have the second worst defense in the league. Yeah, literally 31st in total yards, 31st in passing yards, 27th in rushing yards, and giving up 33.3 points per game. Houston has only given up 12.8. So you know what? But just because of Houston offense line, I'm very skeptical of this game. But this is a game where both teams are fighting for their season. So there's going to be a lot of desperate ball. There's going to be a lot of kind of like in-season playoff ball a little bit, where you kind of open up your playbook a little bit more because there's more at stake in this game. But give me Houston if Cooper Rush plays. Give me Baltimore with the slight edge if Lamar Jackson ends up playing. Next, we got the New York Giants versus the New Orleans Saints. The Saints are favorite at 1.5. Last time they faced off against each other was December 8th of last year. New Orleans won 14-11. Give me the New York Giants. Give me the New York Giants for this. I think Cam Scatterboo has a breakout game. I really do. The Giants are 20th in offense. The Saints are 23rd in offense. The Giants are 30th in defense. The Saints are 20th in defense, but I think this defense is starting to come together. So give me the Giants for the dub. The Las Vegas Raiders versus the Indianapolis Colts. The Colts are 6.5 points favorites. Last time they two faced off against each other was December 31st back in 2023, where Indianapolis won 23-20. The Colts are the third best offense and the 17th best defense. I think they're better. They're a better defense than their statistics are showing, though, to be honest. And a lot of that has to do with them playing the Rams, right? The Raiders are 20th in defense and 14th in offense. Give me the way the Raiders have been playing. Gino already has 7 interceptions. Daniel Jones is playing good. He's already has thrown for over 1,000 yards. Give me the Indianapolis Colts for this one. I think the Indianapolis Colts are a better team overall. Miami versus Carolina Panthers. Last time they faced off against each other was October 15th, 2023, where the Miami Dolphins won 42-21. The Dolphins are 1.5 point favorites, and give me the Dolphins for the win over the Carolina Panthers, game-winning field goal. I think Tua turn the ball over, will not turn the ball over. I have some faith that he will hold on to it. So the Panthers they're about even on offense. The Dolphins are 26. The Carolina Panthers are 25th. The Dolphins are 27th in offense. The Panthers are 27th in defense. The Panthers are 16th in defense, and they both give up about. Actually, that's not even close. The Dolphins give up 29.5 points per game, which ranks them at 26. Carolina 23.8, which ranks them at number 19. Give me the Miami Dolphins at the end of the day. Next, we got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus the Seattle Seahawks. I think Tampa marches in to win this game. I think they have a good team. I know they have question. I know Baker's questionable. Bucky Irving is questionable, but still give me this game. Actually, and it's been almost 3 years since they played. Tampa won 21-16 back in November 13th, 2022. And if you guys don't know or don't remember, these two franchises are always connected to each other because they came into the league at the same time, and they have two different trajectories of how they started. Tampa starting off at 0-26. They lost their first 26 games. The Seattle Seahawks are building things, but two teams that start off in 76 had rocky starts. 3 Super Bowls combined between the two franchises. So that's a little history right there. But yeah, give me the Tampa Bay Buccaneers for the win. They're Seattle's 3.5 point favorites, but I got Tampa winning this game. Tennessee Titans versus the Arizona Cardinals. Last time they faced off against each other, Arizona won over 4 years ago. Arizona won 38-13. The Titans are 31st in offense. The Cardinals are 28th in offense. In defense, they're about neck and neck. The Titans at 25th. The Cardinals at 23rd. Cardinals 7.5 point favorites. I don't think that's going to happen. And actually, when your starting quarterback says we are ass, I think this lit a fire under everybody's ass. So give me the Tennessee Titans to beat the Arizona Cardinals here. Next, we got the Washington Communist Party versus the Los Angeles Chargers. Last time they faced off against each other, Los Angeles won over 4 years ago, 20-16. Washington 24th in defense, 13th in offense. The Chargers 7th in offense, 4th in defense. Gave me I said San Diego, geez. It's been 10 years. It's been almost 10 years since they moved to Los Angeles, and I still catch myself saying the San Diego Chargers. Give me the Los Angeles Chargers for the dub, especially if Mariota's playing. I'm not sure if Mariota's supposed to be playing or not. I haven't seen anything about Jaden Daniels being cleared, but actually let me check right now. See if definitely. I just look at the injury list for the 49ers. Yeah, definitely give me the Rams. No Purdy, no Ricky, and no Juan Jennings. Yeah, okay. Let's see. Yeah, I don't see anything about Jaden Daniels playing or not playing. So yeah, give me mm, I originally had Washington listed here, but that is the wrong item I just grabbed. I was not trying to grab that. I was trying to grab a pen. Give me the Los Angeles Chargers over the Washington Communist Party. Detroit versus Cincinnati. Is there any discussion on this whatsoever? This should be a BTA belt to ass game. Detroit, last time they faced off against each other was almost 4 years ago. Cincinnati won 34-11. That was when Detroit was not a good team. That's when Detroit was building the blocks for today. Give me Detroit. BTA belt to ass. Plain and simple. Detroit is eighth in offense, 13th in defense. Cincinnati's the last place team in offense, the 29th team in defense. And they give up 29 points, 29.8 points per game, which is 27. Yeah, give me the Detroit Lions in this game. Sunday Night Football, New England Patriots versus the iced out Buffalo Bills. They rocking those new uniforms, man. Last time they faced off against each other was week 17 last year. New England won 23-16. Everybody remember that game where New England would have won. They would have had the first overall pick, but guess what? That was a blessing in disguise. They got Will Campbell. Patriots are 16th in offense, 18th in defense, but they are the seventh best team in passing yards. Buffalo, second best team in offense, ninth best team in defense, and they also give up the fewest passing yards in the league at 125.8 yards per game. Buffalo averages 33 points a game, which is second best in the league. New England averaged 25 at that 42 points. Definitely helped them out though. Give me the New England Patriots though on the upset. I think the Patriots are kind of feeling confident. I know Buffalo is ready to just whip their ass, but I know Buffalo 7.5 point favorites. Give me the New England Patriots for the surprise win. And finally, Kansas City versus Jacksonville. Last time these two teams faced off against each other was back in September 17th of 2023, where Kansas City won 17-9. Let's see. Kansas City are 3.5 point favorites. The way the Jaguars have been playing, though, they've been playing pretty good, especially by their standards. Give me Jacksonville. Jacksonville is 12th in offense and 15th in defense. Kansas City 17th in offense, 14th in defense. So give me the Jacksonville Jaguars for the dub on this game. And that is it for the power rankings. Let's go over through the MLB real quick. We know that the playoffs are in high swing. The Red Sox and the Yankees are tied 3-3 at the top of the eighth. The Padres beat the Cubs 3-0. That series is tied 1-1. My beloved Guardians won 6-1 off of a 5-run eighth inning. Absolutely, that eighth inning they put the belt to the Tigers. They whipped them. So that's going to be a 1-1 tie. Game 3 tomorrow, and the Reds and Dodgers have yet to play. This is a very exciting playoffs. I'm very excited what's going to happen in these playoffs. And I'm rooting for my Guardians. I think the Guardians are strong enough to get past the Detroit Tigers, but we'll see what happens with that as well. State of the channel address will be coming either tomorrow. As I was saying, I'm recording at the time of this. At the time of this recording, it is Wednesday night at 8:31 p.m. So this could either come out Thursday or it'll come out Friday. State of the channel address for the new subscribers. That is my thank you video and the update video for the channel. I'd like to thank all the subscribers, all the people that checked in. Just thanking the support, and showing my gratitude, love, and appreciation for everybody out there. Also, check out All Ground Sports. Check out the Honorable Mars Show. Check out Andre Sports Junkie's blog. I'll put the link in the description for that. Just check it all out. I'm on All Ground Sports. So if you love this channel, you'll love All Ground Sports. I'm on there every Tuesday. And I've been on there for a while. And I'm making my comeback there. But nonetheless, still do From the Nosebleeds. And we're going to do more videos than Power Rankings and Browns reviews. Trust me. But football season's hectic. But we're going to do more videos in general and everything like that. But that is it. That is the Week 5 Power Rankings and Predictions. And this has been Tyrell from the Nosebleeds. Thank you all for coming to the Nosebleeds section. Until next time, signing off, saying have a good week. We will see you next time. Don't forget 6:45, unless I say otherwise in the community post, or you just see it when you go and schedule. Hit that notification bell too when you subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you get notified when I schedule the lives or anything like that. But as of now, the live will happen at about 6:30, 6:45 on Sunday. We'll go over the Browns game and everything like that. Again, the Star Rail exiting the nosebleed section. Signing off and saying thank you all and have a great day.